Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We did a little part of our program today will be already videotaped. So this morning, Kaylee came over and we did a blue and white antique bed turning at my home. And hopefully to inspire you to get going and want to make a blue and white / cream quilt for our quilt show in the fall for our primitive Christmas event, which is the weekend before Thanksgiving. All right, so somewhere around there. I was told the dates, but I sometimes forget. So that will be following, and then I'll hang around and watch that with you guys. But it was super fun, and I think we have over 25 quilts that I grabbed for that. But as you know, we didn't have a live last week, so I hope you missed us because we sure missed our time with you. I was in Mackinac Island, I was going to say city, but Mackinac Island teaching these projects right here. And it just so happens that I'm going to be teaching these next week here at the gathering. So I'm going to go over these and show you what I'm going to be doing each day, because maybe you want to come and join me. Like, you know, who knows, maybe something opened up in your schedule and you want to come and join me and hang out for a couple classes or one or whatever it takes that you want to do. So jump on, say hello. We, of course, have prizes for you, but I forgot what they were.
We'll take care of it.
We'll get there. You know, it's kind of been a weird day. We've been dodging rain down, like buckets of rain.
That was some hard rain.
Yeah, like I can't believe my hair actually has any curl to it right now. So.
And mine has quite a bit of fluff.
Yours has quite a bit of fluff? Yeah. So just even walking through from, you know, one building to the next building and the humidity and the rain and yuck. Yeah. All right. So I want to show you a couple things that we have going on because I didn't do announcements last couple weeks. You know, I kind of was like, I don't really feel like doing all that talking. But one of the things I want to talk about this week is our Community Choice Awards. So Kaylee, I'll throw that up so you can read what I am talking about. We have been nominated as Best Arts and Crafts Store in our area, and you can go on and vote for us until it's May 20th, which is not too long from now. But you can vote every day for us. And you can vote in multiple categories, or you can just go in and vote for us and be done. But if you do vote for more than 25 categories, you could win $250 gift card. Who wouldn't want that, right? But we think it's super cool that someone nominated us for this, and we are excited. And we would really like to win, but I know it's a lot of work to get everybody to vote and to do all that stuff. Matter of fact, we should probably have staff voting one day here, so we all vote for us.
I've been voting every day.
You've been voting every day? Good
Good
job. I probably hit about every other day when I think about it. So I know. I know. It's hard. It's hard. All right. So please help us out and join us. All right. So then we have Cross Stitch Group, which is June 5th. That is the next time you can join us for Cross Stitch. Featherweight Club, June 10th. I'm going to go through these fast and only show you the next available time. May 29th is Sit and Stitch. May 20th is Stitchers Gathering. That is coming up soon, right? What is the date? I don't even know. And then let's talk about Mackinac Rewind. So it is May 20th through the 23rd, and Kaylee has the class schedule up there. So Monday we are teaching, let me see, this guy right here, a little mini class. Here, I got to turn it the right way. There we go. So if you want to come learn how to do this little teeny tiny piecing, we are doing that on Monday. And that class fee is $85 and the kit is only $20 for that. And then on Tuesday, we have this lovely wool table mat. Wait. There we go. All right. And this one is $72. Plus $85 to hang out and eat with me that day. And next up, we have the Black Star Flower Farm. Here we go. This one, I believe, is $75, and that includes the foundation, all the thread, And a class fee for this one is $55, and it is a half day from 9 to 12. The other half of the day is the wool punching here. So I actually did one in class too. Look at that. So this is the other one that I did in Mackinac Island. There you go. I didn't finish the edge yet, so I'll teach my class people how to finish this with this one. Cool, right? Okay. And then we also have the Dear Santa quilt on how to make triangles fast and easy and accurate. And then the second part of the class is stem stitching Dear Santa here. And we talk about how to make this so awesome. He's upside down. Santa's on the top of his head. Here we go. Let's turn him around. There we go. So here's Santa. And we have limited number that can do this class because we're running out of projects until they come in. We did not get our shipment yet. So I saved some, cut off selling them at Mackinac Island. So I'd have some for the class here as well. So come join me next week. We have 4 full days of classes. That last one, Dear Santa, was Thursday. It is $85 to take the class and $125 for that kit. So get your butt here and have some fun and hang out. Treat yourself. I promise it'll be a good time. We always have. We'll treat it like we're at retreat. So hopefully some of you can stay more than one day. And we've hooked some classes together for you. And it should be super fun. All right. Now, what did I do with my thing here? All right. Back to announcements. I promise you, the trunk show will be worth it. All these announcements. All right, we have edge-to-edge robotic quilting class coming up May 22nd. You can do a morning or afternoon session. Super fun panel for any of your grandchildren or your big children. They would love this panel that we're teaching. And it's like going home with a finished project. So how fun is that? And then June 1st, Kathy is teaching punch needle at the gathering from 9 to noon. We also have Purge and Splurge coming up June 8th from 9 to 2. If you want to be a vendor, I do not know if there's any spots for that. That is $25 to be a vendor there. So call the gathering there at 778-8031. That is the number for that. And then we have Chessie and me, a cross stitch person coming, Linda Lautenschlager. She is from Wisconsin. She is awesome. We have a nice number in this class, but I really want more in there. I want to show our cross stitch teachers that this is a place to come, have fun, and I want to fill her class as much as we can because you know that cross stitch is not really a lot of teaching going on, but they have fun and they do some other things. And Linda has done a mystery for you. So you don't really get to see it, but it's super cool and it's beautiful. July 12th through the 13th is a summertime sip, sew, shop, and stay. That was a whole lot of S's there and I didn't flub it up. That was amazing. And then we have in August 21st through August 25th, we have Miss Debbie Maddie coming. She is a motor designer. She teaches us how to dye indigo in a super fun class. Then we also have maybe a spot or two left in All Things Pumpkin, September 30th. The Saturday class is sold out. The 30th is a Monday. So like I said, that one has a bunch of fun stuff going on. Teresa Kogert, October 17th through the 19th. We have some spots there for you to join. Linda, Long Arm Quilting Master, is coming Friday, excuse me, and Saturday, the 15th and 16th of November. All those include lunch and all that. You can read all that on there, snap that. And then we have, I just want to remind you about our Blue and White Quilt show. Information is on our website where if you pay your $30 entrance fee, you can download all of the stuff. And you do not have to send your quilt to us until October 31st. That's when we need it. And then when you send a picture of it and all that, all at the same time. So please join us for that. We love our quilt show here. Everybody loves it during that special event. Our greatest event of the year, our primitive Christmas. Don't miss that. That's when we have a lot of fun stuff. And we are doing so many cool things here. So in the next month, we're going to introduce a lot of different fun things. One of them is our loyalty program is almost ready. Super huge, super fun. You are going to love that loyalty program. So that's coming up. Anybody have any questions for me right now before we do some other things? I got to give you the Twilight Stars winners. We got anything going on? Whew, I made it. Good. I made it too. Yeah. Anything?
On the Linda Hirschke class.
Yes.
Is this machine long arm only, or does this mostly involve standard sewing machine with a demonstration using the long arm?
All right. So the question was for Linda's class, is it for long arm only? It is not. Whatever Linda teaches you can be done on a domestic machine or a long arm machine. Linda started off on her domestic machine, and it's a lot of how she does things, how she figures out what she's going to do on each on each quilt, and how she looks at that, how she breaks that down. It's very, very detailed in what you do. So it's not a lot of quilting on the machine. It's a lot of her thought processes and things like that, and how she executes those things, and how she travels from this point to that point. Just loads of information. Like, it's so jam-packed that it's definitely worth it. And I love seeing Linda's students become wonderful custom quilters. So she does have a great following, a great success rate with her classes. And I've seen many, many, many of her teachers become very gifted long armers, as well as, like I said, you can make it go on your domestic machine as well.
All right. And one more for the Dear Santa project. Does the kit come with fabric pre-starched?
The kit does not come with fabric pre-starched. So you can either pick yours up early, or I don't think we could, maybe we could ship it to you yet, but if you live locally. But yeah, so let us know. Call the gathering if you want to pick yours up ahead of time. You're more than welcome to do that. However, do not starch the panel. Do not need to starch the panel, only the piecing parts. I put when I'm done stitching the panel, there is a fusible interfacing on the back of this to give it some body to go when you sew it to the patchwork. This, I don't want just one wimpy piece of fabric there. I want that to have some body to it. So therefore I ironed on some interfacing, and I do that after I stitch, not before. Some people do it before, I do it after. Good question, whoever that was. All right. All right, anything else before we go into our tape recorded show?
Is there going to be a class for the barn quilt?
Yeah, we're going to do some barn quilts this summer. Just let us get a little ahead on some things. So let us know, what size do you want us to do? You think we should do 2 foot, 3 foot? Do you want a choice? And we'll just price accordingly. How do you want that to do? Because I imagine it's going to be an all-day class, but we love the quilting or painting the barn quilts here. So, and we've gotten pretty good at it too.
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah.
Does a website exist to check your quilt designs against to make sure that they haven't been registered for copyright?
Quilt designs?
Yeah, like if someone's, I think she may be designing her own, and she wants to check it to make sure that she hasn't. I don't know.
I have no idea. So the question was, is there a place to check if you're quilting designs? I'm thinking it's a pantograph that she's maybe designing or something, to see if something like that already exists. If anybody in the feed knows this, maybe some of you are long armers. Let's put this out there on our webs. Let's put this out there in one of our groups and see if maybe anybody knows the answer to that. All right. Another rug hook punch class. I asked Pamela, you can't make that time? Okay, maybe during the summer we can fit one of those in, because we are working on more projects and things for the rug hooking. So yes, we can do another class.
I have to say, there have been a lot of people asking for another rug
rug plus. Yeah. All right. So I'll put that on my agenda and we'll get that on there. Maybe early August, somewhere in there, or maybe I don't know. Not July. Not July. August. All right. Okay. So yes, Pam. We'll get on that. All right. Nope. Right here. Yep. Okay. Twilight Stars. My winners, because I was not here last week. Week 47. Do you have that overlay? Week 47. This is Carla's. So you are the winner of 47, Carla. So thank you for your lovely, what is that bird called again? Flamingo. That's right. I love her dark and very bright blocks. So Carla, you probably not have won yet. So please email Heidi and then we will put you in for the winner, because guess what? We only have a couple weeks left and we are done. I am putting mine together right now. I think I have 4 rows on the diagonal going together right now. All right. And then winner number 2 for week 48 is Patricia Alfonso. You are winner number 48. Thank you for that wonderful post with your Packer colored blocks there, green and gold.
So last time we talked about Twilight Stars, we had a gentleman, Matt.
Yes.
Kaylee, I did throw the image in.
Oh yeah, so
he emailed.
Yes.
In response, he wants you to know that it is definitely him and not his wife.
Okay.
And he provided us with a nice photo.
All right, let's show it. So this is what some of our customers do. So this is Twilight Stars. I know, right? Look at that. So I'm not sure. Maybe Matt can help me. Does this have something to do with Texas?
I think he's a rancher, I want to say.
Yeah, like something reminds me of the red, white, and blue or something like that. That I think this is a gift, isn't it? A gift?
Yeah, if I recall.
Yeah, I'm very spotty on the details, but he made this, I think, as a gift, and I think it might have something to do with the state of Texas. I could be wrong, but regardless, isn't this amazing? Look what those dudes can do. Who says quilting's just for women?
Is that the Texas flag?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That has, but the Texas flag, I think, has one big star, and yeah, it could be. That's why I think so, but I'm not sure. And maybe if he's watching today, he can say something or let us know. But look at how he divided the background in those red and cream stars. How fun is that?
Okay.
And then between the blue and the red and cream.
He answered you.
All right, let's see what he says. Let's see. Where is he? Highlight him. Hey, I know that Matt Cox person. Is my interpretation of the Texas flag for my nephew's graduation. You are going to be the most awesome uncle in the whole wide world. Are you hand stitching that binding on, Matt, or do you do that by machine also? I had a chance to hang out a little bit with Susan Cleveland. Wow, that woman and her binding techniques are amazing. Yes, let's show Matt some love. Everybody tell him what an awesome job this quilt is and thank him for sharing it with us and being an inspiration for everybody. All right. So we sure appreciate that. We love when you guys do interpretations of what we do. That is genius, Matt. I mean, come on. How awesome. How awesome is that? We want to see that graph paper too. No, he probably didn't use graph paper, but we'll see what he says. All right, so I got winners for Patricia. Make sure that you email Heidi if I forgot to say that. She will enter you in for our big prize as well as the weekly prize. Not being able to talk. I'm out of practice. All right, any other thing before we start our little trunk show here, our bed turning? That's what we have done. That's what we have for you today. And please, 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 I'm begging. I want some awesome blue and white quilts for our trunk show. What's that?
He said he did use graph paper.
Yes.
It was a hot mess.
Yes. I know, like graph paper is the bomb. We all use graph paper. All right. So good job, Matt. All right. Let's watch our bed turning of Blue and White. Enjoy, everyone. We'll meet you back here. Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today. I thought we would get some inspiration for our Blue and White Quilt Show that takes place in October. So I picked about 20 some antique quilts in my collection, and I'm hoping that this inspires you to enter our quilt show, maybe give you some ideas. However, most of these quilts, because they're antiques, are very, very traditional. You can enter whatever kind of quilt you like, and we really encourage creativity and your own designs as well. But just to get this thing rolling, we thought we'd show you some blue and white quilts and maybe ramp up some excitement for our Blue and White Quilt Show. All right, Madeline is with me today. She's going to help roll back the quilts. So let's get started with it. All right, so we're going to lift them up a little bit here. We'll pull them up sideways here a little bit so you can kind of see the quilting on everything. So this is very traditional but very hard feathered star. So as we were sitting here waiting for Kaylee to set the cameras up, we noticed that these flying geese are appliqued on. So they pieced them together in a really cool row, and then they applique them. They are not pieced into this quilt, but done very, very nicely. And the quilting is, again, over the top with a quilted in vine here and little critters and things all over the place. Kind of hard to identify what they all are, but I'm sure back in the day they had a plan to all of this. And this quilt and the next one are very similar, and that's why I put them next to each other. So we're just going to roll them down and then get them on the rug here. All right, same design, a little bit smaller execution here. Look at the quilting, a lot of straight lines, dense all over the place. Just beautiful, beautiful quilt. And some of these I notice have a little bit of tanning in them there, so I think they need a good bath one of these days when I don't have nothing else to do, right? To give it a brightening bath there and maybe bring some of those colors back to what they originally were. But look what they did way back when. These are probably late 1800s, early 1900s. So very well done. The execution is awesome. And remember, they didn't have all of the tools that we have today. This one, simple broken dish block. So here's the block set on point. So that's set with an alternating block on this one. Really nice done as well here. Simple, but super cool. They weren't afraid of triangles back then. All right.
Wow.
And blue is blue. There's lots of shades of blue. So this is a lighter color blue. This quilt is worn and loved. It's pretty much has nothing left to the binding at all. It's super, super soft. This would be a great snuggling porch quilt when you're sitting out on the porch taking a nap. I take a lot of porch naps when I come home from work. Sometimes at 3 o'clock, I'll just go there and just, take a little 20-minute nap. And this would be a great one to snuggle up with. And again, triangles. They weren't afraid of those. And these were done by machine. So this one, usually most of these antique quilts are all hand piece. This one, however, is hand quilted, but it is done by machine. So good job for them. Maybe it was done on a featherweight. All right, you might recognize this one. We did recreate this in one of my blue and white fabric lines. So you may have seen this once before, but again, spectacular quilt, set on point. I just think that quilts set on point are so much more interesting, right? So it's a little bit harder to do the directions for them, and you end up with some half blocks out here, but I just think it's spectacular on point. What do you think, Madeline?
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful, right? And here, we'll give you a quick little peek at the quilting. Just we'll hold that up. I think the light, you can get a good shot at that. Just straight line quilting in this one. Sometimes that's all you need. I put this little one in here. This is not a mini quilt. It's part of a big quilt that was cut down probably because it had too much wear in it. But it's a cute little mini quilt now. So if you want to make one of these, this is pretty simple to execute. Just some 9 patches and a star block in the middle and a couple little rail fence blocks there. I think I might have done that a couple years ago. Okay, look at this guy. So this is, I would say, I want to say Irish chain, but it's really not. It's just a block here, and then another block with 4 corners set that way. So it is kind of an Irish chain, just a big clunky one. Straight line quilting, just 2 fabrics. One muslin and the other is a nice little star print, but beautifully done. In good shape. No wear on the binding at all. All right, so here we have redone this one as well, only we did it a little different. We started off with 1 fabric in the middle and then kind of went around and changed fabrics for one of my fabric lines. But again, this is another beautiful, super soft, lovely quilt. And I remember when we made this design in my book, this is hard to keep flat and straight. So the execution of this is amazing. So, and I think they kind of did that easily enough by when they trimmed this, they just trimmed it. They didn't care if they cut off some points. They just trimmed it so it was nice and straight, so everything laid flat. And we are so picky today about being perfect and making perfect points. But when you look at a quilt like this that has them all chopped off, does it really take away anything from the quilt? No, it doesn't. So we gotta pretty much go for progress and not perfection anymore. Let's just get the quilts done. Let's do our best to our ability at the time. But again, done is better than unfinished or not done. And this one you will recognize too. I actually had the recreation on my bed here not too long ago. But this is a great 4-block quilt. Again, you know I love triangles, so I'm always on the lookout for quilts with triangles. This is easily done and recreated. There's nothing too hard about this. It's just a lot of them, and we're not afraid of triangles or making, you know, over 1,000 triangles. Even Madeline's made a bunch of them in her
thousands
in her short little career as a quilter. Right? And she's not afraid of triangles. Matter of fact, what did you tell me when I made you make those big ones?
I like them small.
She likes them smaller better, right? She likes the littler ones.
They're fun to piece.
Yep. This is a pretty quilt, and I love how they just, it's kind of fun to see the different dye lots in the fabrics, and we'll see some of that going through here. But again, another quilt that was definitely used. Probably got a little bleach splash there from when they were doing the whites and using bleach, and sometimes these things got in the way. I know that happens sometimes. But again, this is one that could probably use another little soak and bring those whites back to a little bit brighter. But beautiful done. This again is, let's see, there's the block, right? And then it has, I think, some sashing in it. So it has sashing stars and block stars. Maybe. This one looks down a little too far. Let me think here. 5, 5. So do you see how this looks like a block here? But this one doesn't have the in the right spot there. So I don't know. I'd have to pick this one apart a little bit to see what exactly that design is. But let's hold the quilting up on this one again. Look at that. Just extremely quilted to death. I love it. A drunkard's path, blue and white, all scrappy. So this is the block right here. And then when you put 4 of them together, you get a drunkard's path block. And how cool is that they're all made with different indigo fabrics. This is masterfully done. I don't know how to say it. Masterfully done. But look at the beautiful quilting in here, and it has like a little yin and yang or a little flower in there or something. But just beautiful. And again, this was in one of our books as well. We recreated this. Let's just show this. Yeah, look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Super cool. All right, now I know this one. Some people are not going to like this, but we all know that some of these quilts predated the war. So this is not a swastika. This is a pinwheel. And I know some people can't get over that, but this was a quilting motif long before it was used for something else. All right. Isn't that great? Just 2 colors.
What's up with, did you put the binding on
Yeah,
yours?
so she wants, so what happened is whoever had this quilt, they repaired the binding because you can tell that it's been used a lot.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't have vast quilting skills. You can kind of tell by how it's put on here. And I just noticed that there's some initials in this bottom corner. So that's super cool, but I can't make out what they are, but there is an initial in there. But yeah, this binding has been reapplied in the wrong color, but oh well. Repaired is repaired, right? Didn't stop me from buying it. Again, look at this, flying geese and squares, beautifully done. Bunch of different fabrics, makes it interesting. So there's your block. In an alternating block, nothing on point, even though it gives it that diagonal feeling to it. And you'll notice that the quilts that we're pulling back here don't fit this bed. This is a king size bed. The very first one in the beginning was 96 by 96, and that is huge for that era of beds because they didn't have that big of beds back then. They were a little bit smaller people. And we've gotten bigger as we have evolved here. This is the sweet little bear paw quilt. Again, this one has some yellowing to it. It could use a good soaking bath, but I think that would come out in there. But isn't this a sweet block? And the addition of the flying geese here, even though it's set big triangles. It's a triangle. It's not technically a flying geese block. But again, quilted to death, wonderfully made. Just another quilt that has been well used and really fun to have. Wow, look at this blue. I don't even know what this is called. Anybody, what would you call this? Cobalt? Anybody, do you know colors that good?
It's kind of cobalt.
Cobalt, right? But kind of a funky design there in the big open square. Just, you know, we could easily strip piece this to remake this block nowadays. That would be super simple to make.
I like the quilting in the big one.
Yeah, and it's kind of very geometric, kind of fun, kind of mimicking what they did there. I love looking at quilting designs and trying to see like what was their inspiration. And I think, you know, trying to do that simply but not over the top and give it another little something to look at here. But yeah, very nicely done. And then we have to have a basket quilt. I don't think this one has ever been used or anything like that. It's in perfect condition. And I always wonder, like, the orientation of baskets. Like, what were they thinking? Do you think they put it this way? Do you think they put it sideways? So the baskets were facing that way and the baskets were facing this way. You know, we obviously have them up and down here, but it's one of those things where as a quilt maker, you got to decide which way your baskets are going to go. Are they all going to go the same direction? But obviously, she or they chose to do this facing each other. And just a lot of straight line, very fine hand quilting, a lot of clamshells and straight lines in this one. This is a big quilt too. It says it's 80 by 94. So this might have been one that went, you know, down over the sides of the bed. I absolutely love this one. This is one of my most favorite blue and white quilts. And we have recreated this one. It was called Bear Star because he was the man who invented indigo dye, blue dye. So again, such a beautiful quilt. No border. I love that it's, you know, just the blocks and a simple outside border, nothing pieced to to put on that. And I love how they don't have blue for a binding, that they just use the cream out here. And that is a very, very little tiny binding that they have on there, but really nicely done. And you see the cable in the quilting, and then just massively, like, there looks like triple rows of quilting right next to each other to make this rows here stand up. So that is super fun. And if you're a hand quilter, you understand why they did this so close together and so much, is because they love hand quilting. And hand quilting can be very relaxing at the end of a day, just to do a little bit each night, and before you know it, your quilt is done. Now look at this. So this is no scrap quilt. This is 2 fabrics, and they had, whoever made this quilt back in the day, they had a lot of money. They could buy fabric to make this whole quilt, only 2 colors. They weren't swapping scraps with the neighbors. And there's not a lot of quilting on this, just a simple Baptist fan. And there's a little bit of either fade in there or bleach staining. You never know how that really happens, but it does. But big carpenter's wheel blocks, so popular yet today. Again, these hand quilted quilts just have that beautiful feel to them that you just want to snuggle up and not come
They're
out.
soft.
Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? This is the one that's going to stay on the bed after we're done here. I think this is great for spring. I don't know what color this is, but it definitely is a beautiful color. So this is an orange peel that this is the block here. So they just appliqued them on there. And they just kept going, and they made a ton of them the same color. So aren't we spoiled nowadays? We think we got to have all these different fabrics, but this is commitment to get this done. And this is a nice big quilt as well. Do you have, oh, here's the tag, 90 by 73. So even though this is a king size bed, I have, if you look here, I have this as my top quilt for my bed, and then I always put an antique quilt over the top. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't fit the bed. We make it, we use it, you know, to decorate the bottom, or we full out with the pillows and the everything on top. But I love how simple this is and how graphic. And like I said, you could do a different fabric for each one of these in a blue. Maybe show off your blue collection of fabrics. But I would love to see this one recreated someday. Maybe we'll have to have a pass-around block, like everybody sends in one block and we put it together and make a quilt. So that would be super fun too, right? All right, now look at this, snowballs. One of my favorite designs to do with a fabric line. But again, 2 colors in this one, nothing more, and all these are those little flip and sew corners. So you're just sewing across. Blue on the white, white on the blue, trimming, and there you go. And I would say 3 inches at the most here on this. And just simple cross-hatch quilting makes a beautiful, stunning quilt that is highly collectible nowadays. Like these blue and white quilts are the most sought after on from collectors or people selling them. If you have a blue and white quilt in your stack, that's the one that's going to go first. It's just beautifully anywhere you want to display them, whether you want to put them behind the bed as a piece of art, or on the bed, or hanging in cupboards. Blue and white is just amazing. Now look at this.
This is beautiful.
This is over the top. I don't think I would try this even today, but because it's kind of got a hex to it here, but
Yeah, how did they do this?
I don't know, because this has probably got a slight curve. It's probably supposed to be circular, but it kind of, to me, has a more of a hex or octagon shape to it. But like I said, can you imagine doing this, piecing this by hand? Yep, that's hand pieced. Piecing this by hand. Yep, that's all hand pieced. So that's all hand pieced in there. Just so cool. It's funny because as I was laying them out, I was thinking, okay, if I had to narrow down my collection to 100 quilts, what would that look like? It would be hard. That one would be in it, I think. All right, a little baby quilt. I always say that no one is too good for a 9-patch. Like 9 patches are the best, right? So even though it's one of the simplest blocks that we do, I think it is one of the most popular and fun to make. And even though it's simple, look at how cool it is when you see lots of them. And that is probably 2 inches.
These are itty bitty.
Yeah, those are about 2 inches. So, or maybe 2 1/4 if they were 3/4 at one time. But yeah. So this one is pretty interesting, don't you think? So this fabric is the same as this fabric. It's the exact same print, but when somebody dyed it back in the day, they must not have finished processing it correctly, is what I am guessing, and it didn't hold its color. But is exactly the, no, it isn't the same print, is it? It's slightly different. Now that I look at it really close, it looks the same.
But it was supposed to be blue?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it was blue at one time.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it was blue. But this is fun little triangles on each of the, so it's a square and a square, 2 square and a squares, and then the simple little half square triangles around the outer edge. Nothing too hard. And we all know with triangle papers, we can mass make triangles. Now this one has a date on it somewhere. I remember that from my collection right here. It has something that says H and then it says 1915. Do you see that? Can you get that in the photo? Here, let's hold it halfway up first. So see the 19 stem stitched 1915 and that looks like an H. Super cool, huh? We should do that to all of our quilts. But this is the tree of life, again, facing each other. So that's a decision that the quilt maker makes. You can see how this quilt was definitely used on a regular basis. They have worn out some of the binding there on one side, and that's probably where they snuggled it up against their necks. Beautiful. Getting down there. Now this block is super fun. It's kind of, to me it looks kind of cattywampus, but it's got this 2 little diamonds going a funny way, but it really makes it really whimsical. And I could see this done in multiple different blues in each block too. But this is only 2 fabrics in the whole quilt. Again, a little star print, but isn't it fun? And then what's really kind of weird is, so these are diamonds, and then this square goes into the next one. So there's not a line here. This isn't a block. They piece that like in a row, because this is kind of a weird, like this looks really rectangular-ish. This looks more square, more square. So they just made it work. Another simple square and a square quilt. One of my other favorite blocks to make. But not quite square and a square, it just looks like corners, because square and a square would come all the way. But this one is just more like snowballing, big snowballing, because you're not just doing the corner, you're just leaving a little bit there. But isn't it amazing how you can, you don't have to make the corners meet. You can make them float a little bit on the ends and come up with your own block as well. I think that's called the economy block, if I remember correctly. Don't hold that to me. But all right, now this one is a little bit more easier to figure out. But again, the quilting is, I mean, it is so quilted that it doesn't even look like it has any binding in it. And this was a pretty expensive one too. All right, so when you look at this 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of zigzag quilting, and then she left this blank, and that made it look like trapunto and stuck out, even though there's hardly any batting in here at all. Just a little bit fine. Maybe it's even, I don't know, I don't even know, but there's a little something in there. I think you can maybe see it. Yeah, you can see all the seeds when you hold it up. I can see all the seeds from the batting. You see that? See all the little spots?
Yes.
You can see it better from the back. But this is the block here, set on point with corner squares and setting triangles here to make it look nice and straight, even though the block is on point. So this one says it's from Pittsburgh and Ohio Star in border miniature. I thought maybe it would say how old it was, but we can all guess that they are, some will be late 1800s, but early 1900s as well. Again, here we have that same thing, and it almost looks like the same print.
It is, yeah.
It is. It
And
is.
this one's only partial, yeah.
Yeah. So isn't that weird how that happens? These are different color blues in here though, but see, look at that. Show them the end. We'll show them the end one where she's piecing and just that one faded. So that is back then dyeing wasn't stable. So they would either home dyed or somebody forgot one process in the dyeing there, and that's what happened. Still kind of cool though, right?
Very cool.
All right, so we're back to the base quilt here at my home at Anchor Point. Thank you for joining us today for our quick little trunk show, and I hope this inspires you to get out your blue and white fabrics or order some from Primitive Gatherings. If you're in need of any, we always have blue and white in the store, and we can't wait to see all of your quilts coming in October. Bye now. Wow, wasn't that fun? I liked watching it myself. I can chit-chat if I need to. All right, so there were a couple questions about what you use to wash your quilt. So there are two products out there that I know I have used and have had good success with. So Kaylee, if you can maybe, this is Retro Clean. I know we have this here at Primitive Gatherings, and you can kind of tell by the picture where they have a dingy yellowed quilt, and then, oh, look at, I can even do this. And then it has brightened up after you soak it in this Retro Clean. And then another product is called, here we go. Where's my picture? This one, Orvis Paste. So this is very gentle, and it has many, many uses. You probably have some of this already at home if you wash animals or stuff like that. So this is a very nice, gentle product to use and to clean your quilts with too. And I recommend soaking in cold water in the tub. That really, I think, helps. And if you have any other ideas or successes with washing any of your antique quilts, let us know, and we can pass that along to anybody who we can put that out there on one of our blogs. And maybe we can wash one at my house one of these days. And you can see how the before and the after do a live quilt cleaning. Wouldn't that be fun? Because the thing that you do is you soak it in the tub, and then you kind of roll it in towels to sop up, you kind of get as much water out as possible. And then you take a couple towels and you kind of roll the quilt up in the towel so it sucks more water out of it. And then you lay out like a plastic sheet and you dry that quilt on that sheet or on that sheet of plastic or on a sheet. A nice white sheet works well. And there's nothing wrong with throwing them in the dryer too, but sometimes I just like to let them dry flat and nice, and because remember, they're already softened up, they're already worn and loved, and sometimes the dryer might do a little bit more damage than what it doesn't need. But as long as you're on a delicate cycle on your dryer and not too hot, I think it would be fine that way. Because to tell you the truth, a lot of times if I get a smelly quilt in once I buy it, the first thing I do is I throw it in the washer and the dryer. And I just throw it in there with my normal stuff. And I take the chance because I'm brave, because it has lived this long. It has made it this far. And they're quilts, all right? So for the most part, you're pretty safe at washing them and having much success. I only had one red quilt run one time, but I think if I wash red and white nowadays, I would throw in a color catcher. All right. So if you have any more to add to our little trunk show here, I am going to pick some winners right now, but thank you for the wonderful comments and for joining us today. And how I want to know who's participating in the Blue and White Quilt Show. All right. People are counting on you for this lovely event that we have here at the end of the year. All right, so I have 3 winners. I'm not going to tell you what the prizes are because I don't know. We'll pick something cool, I promise. We always get lots of good prizes in here. All right, so the winners for today are Lynn Lar, Erica B, and Diane Deacon. You are the 3 winners. Please send Heidi your physical address there at heidin@primitivegatherings.us. And thank you for joining us today, where every quilt here we wish could tell a story. All right, bye now, everyone.